Hi students, how are you? In this video we are going to discuss about the valency bond theory. Okay, before this we learned that Fagans rules, how to identify the ionic compound and covalent compound, and anyhow what is that ionic bond, what are the favorable conditions for the formation of cation and anion. That concept completed. So now covalent bond, what is this covalent bond and what are the different theories? The first theory is valency bond theory. Anyhow, first of all, what is that covalent bond? Covalent bond. Ionic bond is formed due to transfer of electrons. Ionic bond is formed due to transfer of electrons. Metals loses electrons, non-metals gains electrons. So ionic bond is generally formed between metal and non-metal. Metal, non-metal bonded. Definitely metal loses electron, non-metal gains electrons. So transfer of electron takes place from metal to non-metal. That is an ionic bond. Now covalent bond. What is this covalent bond? If two nonmetals are bonded with each other, for example H2 molecule, two nonmetal atoms. So hydrogen, one electron, another hydrogen also one electron. Okay. Now if two nonmetals are involved in bonding, nonmetals are ready to gain electron. Both are ready to gain electrons. So how that gaining takes place? If anyone ready to lose electron, then it can gain. Now chance not there. Both are ready to gain electrons because both are nonmetals. Now what happens? This hydrogen contribute one electron, donates one, and this hydrogen contribute one electron. Now this electron pair shared by two elements equally. Okay, so the bond formed, what is the understanding here between these two atoms? Both contributes electrons. Now sharing of electron pairs takes place between two hydrogen atoms. So now covalent bond means the attraction forces or the bond formed due to sharing of chemical bond is nothing but attractive forces. So now what is that attraction? Sharing of electrons. So the bond formed due to sharing of electron pair between two elements, and the electron pair contributed by two elements in equal number. Two elements contributes electrons in equal number. Then that bond is a covalent bond. So covalent bond means the bond formed due to sharing of electron pair. That electron pair contributed two elements in equal number. Each one contribute one electron. Then pair formed. Then sharing of electrons takes place between two atoms, two elements. Okay. That bond is a covalent bond. So covalent bond is always formed between two nonmetals, or if electronegative difference is less than 1.7, then we can identify the bond is a covalent bond. So covalent bond, because ionic bond also contains some covalent nature. So covalent bond is formed between two elements with electronegative difference less than 1.7. And covalent bond is formed between two non-metals, and covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electron pair, and the electrons contributed by two elements in equal number. Okay, that bond is a covalent bond. And how many covalent bonds are formed by that element? That is a covalency. How many electrons transferred there? That is a electrovalency. Now it is a covalency. Covalency means each element contributes how many electrons. That is the covalency of that element. Okay. So now here one covalent bond between two hydrogen atoms. So this is one covalent bond. So what is this valency bond theory? For this explanation of covalent bond, different theories introduced. Valency bond theory, hybridization, valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. So first one is the valency bond theory. Okay, VBT, valency bond theory. What is this valency bond theory? Now, covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electron pair. Okay, covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electron pair contributed two elements in equal number. Before sharing, overlapping of orbitals takes place. According to VB theory, covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electron pair. But before sharing, overlapping of orbitals takes place. Orbitals with unpaired electrons only involved in overlapping. Orbitals with unpaired electrons. Orbitals with paired electrons, vacant orbitals, they are not involved in overlapping. In this overlapping, orbitals with unpaired electrons only involved, and the electron spins are in opposite direction. Orbitals with unpaired electrons and spins are in opposite direction. If two spins are in opposite direction, then only overlapping takes place. So orbitals overlapping takes place, but that orbital must contain the unpaired electron, and two which are involved in overlapping must contain the unpaired electron spins are in opposite direction. Then only overlapping takes place. And this overlapping is directional. What are the postulates of VB theory given? What are the correct statements? Overlapping is directional. Overlapping is directional means, now for example, PA orbital, one P orbital with unpaired electron like this, upward spin. Okay. Another P orbital with unpaired electron. With opposite spin only involved in overlapping, no? Opposite spin. Now overlapping along the axis takes place. So along the axis takes place, or above and below the axis also takes place. Like this overlapping also takes place. Anyhow, this overlapping is directional. Overlapping is directional. Overlapping is directional means covalent bond is also directional. Covalent bond is directional. Ionic bonds are non-directional. Ionic bonds, electrostatic attractions, non-directional. But covalent bonds directional. So the covalent bonds are directional. This statement given by valency bond theory only. So overlapping is directional. That's why formed covalent bonds also directional. So these overlapping orbitals indicates the structure of the molecule, geometry of the molecule. That is the linear structure, trigonal planar structure, or tetrahedral structure. What is the structure of the molecule? Based on this direction we can identify. So overlapping is directional. Covalent bond formed is also directional. Every covalent molecule contains definite structure. Okay, definite shape. Now, this overlapping two types. This is called end-on end overlapping or axial overlapping. Along the axis overlapping. End-on end overlapping or along the axis overlapping, axial overlapping. This overlapping leads to the formation of one covalent bond. That covalent bond is called sigma bond. So this one leads to the formation of sigma bond. If this is the axis, okay. Now overlapping of orbitals takes place above and below the axis. Nothing but it is a lateral overlapping or sidewise overlapping or overlapping above and below the axis. End on end overlapping or axial overlapping. Sidewise overlapping or lateral overlapping or above and below the axis overlapping. Like this overlapping takes place, then the formed bond is called pi bond. Okay. This is sigma bond, this one is pi bond. So two types of covalent bonds are formed because of overlapping. End-on end overlapping leads to the formation of sigma bond. Sidewise overlapping leads to the formation of a pi bond. Okay. Now next statement. Extent of overlapping increases. Extent of overlapping increases. Strength of the bond also increases. Strength of the bond increases. So what are the postulates of valency bond theory? Overlapping of orbitals takes place before the sharing of electron pair takes place during the formation of a covalent bond. But how this sharing? Orbitals are involved in overlapping. Overlapping of orbitals takes place. But orbitals must contain unpaired electrons with opposite spin only. Then that type of orbitals involved in overlapping. Because of this overlapping only, sharing of electron pairs takes place. First overlapping takes place, then sharing of electron pair. Now, this overlapping is directional. So, formed covalent bond is also directional. Every covalent molecule contains definite shape. Okay. Now, this overlapping, two types, end-on end overlapping or axial overlapping, sidewise overlapping or lateral overlapping, nothing but above and below the axis overlapping. Based on this mode of overlapping, two types of covalent bonds, sigma bond and pi bond. End-on end overlapping leads to the formation of sigma bond. Sidewise overlapping leads to the formation of pi bond. What is the next statement? Extent of overlapping increases, strength of the bond formed also increases. So now where extent of overlapping is more? Here end-on end overlapping, this extent along the axis, no? Extent of overlapping is more. So sigma bond Overlapping is more compared to pi bond overlapping. That's why sigma is strong bond, pi bond is a weak bond. So sigma bond is strong bond, pi bond is a weak bond. That's why sigma bond can exist alone. Nothing but one bond is there, that is a sigma bond. Single bond is there, the bond is a sigma bond. Double bond is there, one sigma, then another is a pi bond. Triple bond is there, one sigma and two pi bonds. So first sigma bond will form because sigma bond is strong. So sigma bond can exist independently, but pi bond formed only in the presence of sigma bond. Pi bond is formed only in the presence of a sigma bond. So between two elements, how many sigma bonds can exist means only one sigma bond. Between two elements, maximum number of pi bonds can exist, two pi bonds, because single bond, double bond, triple bond. Single bond, sigma bond, double bond, one sigma and one pi bond, and triple bond, one sigma and two pi bonds. So between two elements only one sigma bond can exist. But between two elements maximum two pi bonds can exist. Okay. Anyhow, sigma is strong, pi is weak. Strong bond means breaking of bond is difficult. Nothing but reactivity is less. So sigma bond less reactive, pi bond more reactive. Okay. In sigma, extent of overlapping is more. In pi, extent of overlapping is less. That's why if there are any compounds involved in reactions, so alkenes and alkenes especially, they involve in addition reactions because breaking of pi bond takes place. Instead of that, addition of new species takes place. So breaking of pi bond is easy. Why breaking of pi bond is easy? Their extent of overlapping is less. That's why pi bond is a weak bond. So sigma is less reactive, pi is a more reactive. So these are two types of bonds. So anyhow, these bonds are directional. Unformed covalent compounds also directional. Every bonds are directional. So every covalent compound contains definite shape. Okay. These are the postulates of VB theory, valency bond theory. So anyhow, based on this valency bond theory only, two atoms are comes and approach each other. Here nucleus, nucleus. And in outer shell, electrons are present, electrons are present. If two elements approach each other, attractive forces between outer electrons, for example, this is A and this is the B. Okay, this is a general statement for the formation of chemical bond only. Here A, this is a B. The electrons of A and nucleus of B, attractive forces are present. Okay, and the electrons of B, nucleus of A, here also attractive forces are present. And electrons of A, nucleus of A, here also attractive forces are present. And between electrons A, B, repulsions are present. Between nuclei of A and B, repulsions are present. So see that two types of repulsions. Electrons of A, electrons of B, repulsions. Nucleus of A, nucleus of B, repulsions. Two types of attractions. Within the element, attractions. Between two elements, attractions. Between two elements, attractions if dominated, then formation of chemical bond will start. But every molecule contains definite bond length. What happens? The attractive forces becomes equal to repulsive forces. Equilibrium is attained. So where the attractive forces becomes equal to repulsive forces, their formation of one chemical bond takes place. That's why molecule to molecule bond length changes. Molecule to molecule bond length changes. Because during the formation of chemical bond, only attractive forces, wrong statement. That option wrong. Attractive forces, repulsive forces balanced. Okay. Then formation of chemical bond takes place. Anyhow, these are the postulates of VB theory. Okay. This is about a valency bond theory. So next one is a hybridization. Okay. Hybridization. What is this hybridization? Now see that. What is this hybridization? How to identify the hybridization and structure of the molecule. Okay. So anyhow, before that, VB theory examples, 2-3 examples. H2 molecule, formation of H2 molecule. Why we have to study this hybridization? So H2 molecule, hydrogen atomic number 1, configuration 1s1. Okay, configuration 1s1. Now in s orbital, one unpaired electron is present. Okay, now hydrogen s orbital with unpaired electron. overlapped with another hydrogen with a s orbital in opposite spin. Okay, with opposite spin. Now these two overlapping takes place. Then between two hydrogens, one sigma bond is formed. Okay, one sigma bond is formed. Now what is the sigma bond? Sigma SS. This sigma bond is formed due to overlapping of two s orbitals. That's why the bond is sigma SS bond. Like that, if chlorine given, chlorine atomic number 70. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Okay, 3s2 and 3p5. Like this. So in chlorine, one unpaired electron in p orbital. Okay, another chlorine also same unpaired electron in p orbital. So p orbital with unpaired electron overlapped with p orbital with unpaired electron of another chlorine. Then sharing of electron pair takes place between two chlorine atoms. Now what is the bond formed? Between two Cl, one sigma bond is formed. Okay, what is the sigma bond? Sigma pp bond. The bond is sigma pp bond. Okay, now HCl molecule formation given. HCl, hydrogen unpaired electron in s orbital, chlorine unpaired electron in p orbital. So along the axis, no, and on an overlapping. Along the axis, s orbital of hydrogen with unpaired electron overlapped with p orbital of a chlorine with unpaired electron. Now the bond is sigma sp bond. Okay, sigma sp bond is formed between H and Cl. Now formation of O2 molecule given. For example, given example is O2. Okay, oxygen atomic number 8. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Okay, 2s2 and 2p4. Here in oxygen, two unpaired electrons in two p orbitals. Two unpaired electrons in two p orbitals. Okay, so now here another oxygen also two unpaired electrons in two p orbitals. P orbital of this overlap with p orbital of this oxygen along the axis. So one sigma bond is formed between two oxygen atoms. Okay, and now one more p orbital. Now this p orbital with unpaired electron opposite spin overlap above and below the axis. Above and below the axis means the bond is a pi bond. So in O2 molecule between two oxygens, one sigma, one pi. Okay, this is sigma pp bond and this is a p pi bond. Pi pp. Two p orbitals are involved in overlapping. Like that, if N2 molecule given, N2, homoatomic molecules, that homo and diatomic molecules. Using valency bond theory, we can explain the overlapping of orbitals and structure of the molecule and how many bonds are present. Okay, homo and diatomic molecule. Now N2 given. Okay, nitrogen atomic number 7. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 2s2 and 2p3. 3 unpaired electrons in 3p orbitals. Okay, 3 unpaired electrons. Another nitrogen also same, 3 unpaired electrons in 3p orbitals. Unpaired electron of this one overlap with orbital with unpaired electron. Overlap along the axis, one sigma bond is formed between two nitrogen and remaining overlapping is directional and symmetric orbitals only involved in overlapping. Symmetric orbitals involved in overlapping means px overlapped with px, py overlapped with py and pz overlapped with pz only. Py with px overlapping not takes place. Symmetric orbitals only involved in overlapping. So py with py, pz with pz, like this overlapping takes place. Py with py above and below, one pi bond, and px with px if we along the axis z axis, like that we are taking, then px one pi bond. This along the axis, this we are taking as a z axis, then y and x. Okay, overlapping is directional, formed covalent bond is also directional. Extent of overlapping increases, strength of the bond increases. So now between two nitrogens, one sigma bond and 2 pi bonds are formed. Okay. Now, given one is a CH4. Explain the formation of CH4 given. Now, carbon atomic number 6, 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, 2s2, 2p2. This is the ground state. In excited state, this electron will jump. Now, excited state, 4 unpaired electrons. Excited state, 4 unpaired electrons. Where these 4 unpaired electrons? 1 electron in s orbital, remaining electrons in p orbitals. Okay. So how this overlap with the s orbital of hydrogen? How the overlapping takes place? Here problem started. So to explain this type of molecule structure, we are using hybridization. Okay, we are using hybridization. Structure, based on structure, we are applying hybridization. Okay, but now what we are doing? Using hybridization, we are finding structure. Actual hybridization is introduced based on structure. By seeing structure, hybridization given. Okay, the structure is like this. That's why here hybridization is this. But now what we are doing? Using hybridization, we are finding structure. Okay, so what is this hybridization? Hybridization. Now, formation of CH4 only you take. Center element. First we have to decide the center element. Center element carbon. Carbon atomic number 6, 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. 2s2 and 2p2. Okay, this is ground state. In excited state, 1 electron jump. Okay, within the shell now. This is second shell. Within the shell, S2p, little energy is given, that electron jump, that is called excitation. Now this is the excited state. 4 unpaired electrons are present in 4 orbitals. 1 in s orbital, 3 are in p orbitals. So what is this hybridization? Here covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electrons. That is correct only. And before sharing, definitely overlapping of orbitals takes place. That is also correct. Overlapping of orbitals with unpaired electron with opposite spin takes place. That is also correct. Okay. But before that overlapping, first intermixing of orbitals takes place. Intermixing of atomic orbitals. Intermixing of atomic orbitals takes place. After mixing, they produce new orbitals. That intermixing process name is a hybridization. So hybridization means a overlapping of orbitals takes place. But before overlapping, mixing of all these orbitals it takes place. So intermixing of atomic orbitals takes place. After mixing, they produce new orbitals. After mixing, they produce new orbitals. Okay, these new orbitals are called hybrid orbitals. These new orbitals are called hybrid orbitals. Okay, the process name is hybridization and formed orbitals are called hybrid orbitals. So which type of orbitals involved in this hybridization? Only valence orbitals are involved in hybridization. Valence orbitals are involved in hybridization and orbitals with nearly similar energy. Nearly similar energy involved in hybridization. Orbitals with nearly similar energy only involved in hybridization, and valence orbitals only involved in hybridization, and orbitals with paired electrons, unpaired electrons, or even vacant orbitals also involved in this hybridization. Overlapping unpaired electron with opposite spin only. But hybridization, orbitals with paired electrons, for example here pair there. Here also hybridization takes place. Orbitals with paired electrons involved, orbitals with unpaired electrons involved, are vacant orbitals also involved in hybridization. Okay. After hybridization, they produce new orbitals. No, these are called hybrid orbitals. Hybrid orbitals contains exactly similar energy. Similar energy and similar shape. So the shape of the hybrid orbital is one is big lobe, one is small lobe. That is the shape of the hybrid orbital. S orbital spherical, p orbital dumbbell, d orbital double dumbbell. Like that, this hybrid orbital, what is the shape? Given answer: one big lobe, one small lobe. Okay, one big lobe, one small lobe. All hybrid orbitals like this only present. So hybrid orbitals contain similar energy, exactly similar energy and similar shape also. Now these hybrid orbitals involve in overlapping with unpaired electron. No, hybrid orbital involved in overlapping. How many hybrid orbitals will form? Number of atomic orbitals involved in mixing, that is equal to number of hybrid orbitals formed. Number of atomic orbitals involved in mixing, that is equal to number of hybrid orbitals forms. And these hybrid orbitals involved in overlapping, hybrid orbitals overlapping always along the axis. Along the axis means sigma bond. Hybrid orbitals always form sigma bond. Unhybrid orbitals forms pi bonds. Unhybrid pi bond. Okay. Hybrid always forms sigma bond. Hybrid orbitals always form sigma bond. Unhybrid orbitals form pi bond. So hybridization correct statements. Hybridization means intermixing of atomic orbitals with nearly similar energy to produce new orbitals with exactly similar energy and similar shape. That process name is hybridization. So covalent bond is formed due to sharing of electrons, but before sharing of electrons, overlapping of orbitals takes place. But before overlapping of orbitals, intermixing of atomic orbitals in center element takes place. Center element, this process. Okay. So which orbitals involved? What are the correct statements here? Hybridization means intermixing of atomic orbitals. After mixing, they produce new orbitals. They are called hybrid orbitals. Number of hybrid orbitals formed always equal to number of atomic orbitals mixed. How many mixed? Same number will produce. And only valence orbitals involved in this hybridization. And our valence orbitals means they must contain nearly similar energy. Orbitals with not exact similar, orbitals with nearly similar energy involved in hybridization. Okay. Then hybrid orbitals are exact similar energy and similar shape. The shape of the hybrid orbital is like this. Now this hybrid orbital, in this hybridization, orbitals with paid electron involved or orbital with unpaired electron involved. Vacant orbitals also involved in hybridization. Now these hybrid orbitals involved in overlapping. Okay, involved in overlapping. That overlapping along the axis takes place. Nothing but hybrid orbitals always forms sigma bonds. Unhybrid orbitals forms pi bond. Okay, hybrid orbitals sigma bond, unhybrid orbitals pi bond. Now, see this CH4 molecule formation. Again CH4. Center element carbon, atomic number 6, 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. In ground state 2s2, 2p2, and in excited state this jump here, 4 unpaired electrons in 4 orbitals. Okay. Now carbon bonded with 4 hydrogens, nothing but 4 hybrid orbitals we need, because hydrogen forms single bond. Okay, like that 4 single bonds. So 4 hybrid orbitals we want. First we have to check how many hybrid orbitals we want. Now 4, that's why 1s and 3p involved in hybridization. Now the hybridization is a sp3 hybridization. Okay, this is sp3 hybridization. After, because in this mixing 1s orbital and 3p orbitals involved, that's why this hybridization is a sp3 hybridization. After this mixing, 4 involved in mixing, no, equal number of hybrid orbitals will produce. That's why 4 hybrid orbitals. This is sp3 orbital, sp3 orbital, sp3 orbital. This is also sp3 orbital with unpaired electron. Okay. To avoid the repulsions, to maintain the stability, these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals are arranged in a like this. This structure name is a tetrahedral structure. So arranged in tetrahedral geometry with 4 unpaired electrons. Unpaired electrons are there, means unstable. For getting stability, bonded with 4 hydrogens. Okay, nothing but hydrogen unpaired electron in s orbital. So this overlapped with s orbital of hydrogen. Sharing takes place. Overlapped with s orbital of hydrogen, s orbital of hydrogen. Here also s orbital of hydrogen. So now this C bonded with 4 hydrogens. 4 sigma bonds are formed because hybrid orbitals always form sigma bond. Anyhow, along the axis overlapping. Now what is the sigma bond? Sigma sp3s. Okay, the sigma bond formed is a sigma sp3s. So now like this 4 sigma sp3s bonds are formed and the structure is a tetrahedral structure with bond angle 109 degrees 28 minutes. In tetrahedral sp3 hybridization the bond angle is a 109 degrees 28 minutes. Okay. Now one more example. Hybrid ortors involved in bonding is strength is more. Only pure ortors involved the general. In BB theory that point also important. Sigma PP strength is greater than sigma SP greater than sigma SS. What is the strength of the orbitals given? Okay. That is a pure ortors involved. Now hybrid ortors. Hybrid ortors involved strength is a more. Because extent of overlapping is more. And sigma bond is stronger than pi bond, definitely. Now one more example. BeCl2 given. In alkaline earth metals, beryllium forms covalent compounds based on Fagens's rule. Small size, no, small cation, covalent in nature. Okay. Remaining elements ionic compounds. Beryllium covalent. So beryllium atomic number 4. 1s2, 2s2. 2p is 0. No electron in 2p. 2s2, 2p 0. Okay. Now this is the ground state. Any unpaired electron? No unpaired electron. Nothing but that not involved in any bonding. But bonded with 2 chlorine, no. So here what happens? Little energy given this excitation. Now it is excited state. That electron jump. Now 2 unpaired electrons. Now beryllium bonded with 2 chlorine. Chlorine halogen forms a single bond, sigma bonds. So single bonds formed. Nothing but 2 single bonds we want. 2 bonds means 2 hybrid orbitals. So that's why the hybridization is a sp hybridization. One s orbital, one p orbital. The hybridization is sp. So how many hybrid orbitals will form? 2 hybrid orbitals. Okay. With unpaired electrons. To avoid the repulsion, these two arranged like this. Hybrid orbital shape is one big lobe, one small lobe. Okay. Another hybrid orbital arranged in linear structure. 2 unpaired electrons are unstable. For getting stability, overlapped with p orbital of chlorine. Because chlorine contains unpaired electron in p orbital. This also overlapped with p orbital of chlorine. So this side along the axis overlapping 1 sigma bond. Along the axis overlapping 1 sigma bond. Now the structure is a linear. Bond angle 180 degrees. Okay. This is hybridization. So how that hybridization takes place and how to identify the structure. Like this sp, sp2, sp3, sp3d, sp3d2 and sp3d3. Different types of hybridations are there. These hybridations and valence shell electron pair repulsion theory with examples in next video. Okay. Thank you.